The Precision Racing League presents the American PS4 Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series. Season number 11 is proudly sponsored by Speed Syndicate. Speed Syndicate is an online racing organization founded by PRL's own Dre Simpson. If you're interested in driving for Speed Syndicate in or outside the PRL across several different racing games, please contact Dre Simpson for availability. Now, on for season number 11's full-time drivers roster. The Ferrari team of Speed Syndicate, Dre and Drew the Great. The Audi team of Wall Riders Incorporated, Brian Mosser and Wildebeest. The Porsche team of Tough Bob Racing, Habab, and the second seat is currently available for anyone looking for a full-time ride. The Acura team of Orange Cone Racing, Sandman, and Senile. The Mercedes team of Redline Racing, Excise, and Barnstorm. The Lamborghini team, the Best Team, Jaja, and Doge. The Audi team of Barely Capable, Two-Tone Tommy, and Puma. The defending team champions in the Acura, Apex Motorsports, defending Season 10 champion K-Dog, and Bubba. And that is your full-time roster for the PRL's Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your Precision Racing League's American PS4 Project Cars 2 GT3 Championship Series. I'm your host for this evening, Hootius. Out there in Twitch land, you know me as Old Man Hoot. Tonight, the boys are back from a week off. We had a little GTE fun last week, but now it's back to action, back to racing for points. We are in Germany tonight. The Nurburgring. This is the start of the final leg of the season. We have 4 races to go from this point, and this is your points leader, K-Dog, the defending champion. While he's out there and the rest of the crew, they have 9 minutes left of qualifying. Let's go ahead and first give you a track tour before we get you caught up to date on what's been happening so far this season. Located in Nuremberg, Germany is the infamous Nurburgring. Races first started being held back in the 1920s using public road layouts. Then in 1984, ground was broken and a dedicated GP racing circuit was designed using some of those old roads as well. 2002, the current GP layout was created. This layout is 3.199 miles long, featuring 16 turns, plenty of elevation changes, very fast straightaways, and some tight, slow corners that are going to present some great overtaking opportunities. Most consider the Nürburgring as a crown jewel in German motorsports history. So to get a win here is going to be an ultimate bragging right that drivers are going to be able to hold over one another. Alright, you're going to start your lap coming off turn 16, which is a relatively fast hairpin considering. You're now on the pit straight, the front stretch. This is one of the fastest sections of the circuit. Slipstream is going to play a big part here as it is a pretty straight line that you're going to go to for a while. After you go past the exit of pit road, then you're finally going to get into the braking opportunity. You're going to go on the brakes pretty heavy, going from 6th gear down to 2nd for turn 1, which is a tight hairpin. Now, turn 2 is an elongated left-hander. You're going to have a late apex and you want to make sure not to push it too hard. You're going to have a little bit of a short shoot and then again back on the brakes for a left-hander. Now you're actually going to want to hug this pretty tight to the left and then swing right for turn 4. Now you have to be careful on turn 4 because if you go too wide, the game will give you a track limit penalty and force you to slow down. You're going to carry some speed, slightly get on the brakes for the left-hander. Again, a short shoot. Now you're a little bit harder on the brakes, going down to about 2nd gear for this right-hander. Now you're going to stop on it, use up some curving, try to get as much speed as possible. There's a little bend to the left here, but you're still going flat out. Eventually, you're going to get pretty decently heavy on the brakes, go down to about 2nd gear again. This is a long right-hander, so again, patience needs to be had. Alright, coming up is an uphill S. Drivers are going to do their best to try to take this flat out, and as you can see here, there are some very challenging lines that can happen when guys are pushing their cars to the limit, and accidents can and will happen. After you straighten out, you're going to get on the brakes, go down to about second gear again, a pretty decently fast left-hander, get you up into third gear, and then you have a long right-hander. You're just going to coast for a little bit and then get on it. This is another long straightaway that's just about as fast as the front stretch, even though you have a bend right here, but you're still taking it flat out. Alright, once you start approaching the overhead sign, you're going to get hard on the brakes because here comes a tight chicane. Left, right, attacking the curbing. Now you're going to get back on it. You're going to pass the entrance to pit road and you're back to turn 16. Get on the brakes, get her down about second gear, try to carry as much speed as possible as you're back on the front stretch, and now you're drag racing to the start-finish line. And there we go. So that is what the drivers are going to see tonight for 45 minutes. However, before that happens, we still have about 5.5 minutes left to set this grid. We've got 13 drivers tonight, 10 full-timers, 3 reserves, stepping in. Now, we mentioned they had a bye week. This is race number 9. So with 8 in the books, let's go ahead and look at the points real quick before we get started. K-Dog on his way for championship number 2. Right now, he has an entire race worth of points over X-Ice, Tommy, and Jaja, second, third, and fourth, who all will not make it to the race tonight. Real life has interfered. Second, third, and fourth, and the points are not here. Now, this season, for the first time, though, we do have a drop week. So, while for X-Ice and Jaja's case, it won't be that bad since they haven't missed a race, Tommy has missed a race before, so that's going to hurt. But ultimately, K-Dog, though, is still going to have a healthy gap one way or another after this race. As we see, too, Tommy and Jaja just swapped spots. You know, that's going to hold off on their battle for another week. But if Doge has a strong finish in 5th, he can jump up to the battle for 3rd. And then Bubba, Barn, and Austin, after Burno, all swap positions as well. So there's a pretty healthy battle for 6th place in some points. On the team side of things, Apex Motorsports looking to repeat as well as team champions, K-Dog and Bubba. And again, no X-Ice, Redline Racing. No Tommy, barely capable. No Jaja, the best team. This is going to work out great for them and their championship hopes. Now, drivers' drop weeks will count towards the team championship as well. However, again, if drivers miss multiple races, then that just hurts even more. The drop is not nearly as effective. All right, so enough about the season today. Let's talk about tonight. Not a shocker. Our man K-Dog. Again, let's pull up. He has 4 poles on the season, trying to make it 5 after having a win last week at Brno, a dominant win. Right now, he has a lot of pace over the rest of the field. He is looking to make it a very, very strong 2 in a row. Now, one thing we'll have to keep an eye on is that gentleman in 3rd place, K-Dog's teammate Bubba, had a lot faster lap in practice. He was only 3/10 off of K-Dog in practice. So that Acura of Bubba has a lot more speed in it. It's just a matter of, can he get it done in the next few laps? All right, Puma currently sitting P2, a great run for Puma, who's sitting 10th in the points. He's had some very bad luck, disconnects. Unfortunately, his car got flipped over at Monza. It just hasn't been the season for him, but he had a good showing at Brno. Again, he's bringing a strong qualifying performance here at the Nurburgring. See how he can bats back. Doge had a really good run at Brno going until disconnect got him. It was absolutely heartbreaking to see. He was easily 2nd place. Had that wrapped up. So Doge looking strong right now. Sitting P4 in qualifying. You know he wants a nice, strong bounce back. The first of our reserve drivers, Austin, sitting P5. Even though he's a reserve driver, he's not one to take lightly. He got his first win a couple weeks ago. So he's taking a little time off as well. He's looking to have a strong performance tonight. Brian Mosser currently sitting P6. And here we go. Bundy making his PRL debut tonight. found the broadcast, signed up. He's racing as a reserve for this season. Wants to get in on all the fun and action. So we have spot open for him tonight. He is making his debut, and he is having a solid mid-pack qualifying performance here, his first time out. All right, Drew is in 8th. He is done. He is in the pits. He is not going to get another lap in. So Puma is done. Austin is done. Drew is done. 9th place Senile. He is done. We've got Dano, our F1 regular, jumping in tonight. He is our 3rd reserve driver. He's currently sitting P10. However, he does have a 1 grid penalty for pit line infraction in practice. We've got Dre sitting in 11th. Habab's got his Porsche in 12th. And Barnstorm, again, he's done this several times this season. He's going with the strategy. He's going to start in the back of the pack. And then that very handsome gentleman right there is not racing tonight. That would be my Porsche. Unfortunately, the last patch for Project Cars 2 came with a bug. Broadcasting mode requires 2 people. I don't have a partner, so since we had an open spot in the lobby tonight, I just jumped in as a driver. We're going to see my name at the bottom of the scoreboard. I don't want anybody to have to sacrifice being able to race just to get me in broadcasting mode. It makes no difference. It's exactly what we have here tonight. K-Dog trying to pad his lead right now. He's got 2.5 seconds. He did not go faster that lap, but he has one more time. However, Puma is done. Bubba has called it quits. So Bubba leaving a couple seconds out there on the track, but still sitting a pretty P3. Doge sitting P4 right now. He is trying to go even faster. He's only 0.2 off of Puma, so it's not going to take a lot to jump up. And Methods, how's it going, my man? Hope you're having a great night. All right, at this point, the qualifying time is over. So, for K-Dog, for Doge, Brian Mosser's out there, Dre, and Habab, they're going to be able to finish up their laps. That's it. Everybody else is done. All right. Dano is back in the lobby. He got disconnected, but he's back in. So he's currently sitting P8. With that penalty, though, it's going to drop him to 9th. Trying to look up front. All right, so Doge has crossed the line. He's done. He did not improve. Brian is coming towards the line. Trying to see who just crossed. All right, Habab crossed. He did not improve his time. Here comes Brian off the final corner. Turn number 16. Oh, he goes way too wide. He's in the gravel. That's going to be it. So Brian is not going to improve on P6. Still a strong run for him, though. Dre sitting P11th. He's in the final chicane. He is coming up to turn 16. See the front of that Ferrari is saw a little bit of action here in qualifying. As he comes off the final turn. Can Dre improve? He's got to catch 2 seconds if he wants to jump up into the top 10. And that is not going to happen. He did get a little bit faster, but still sitting P11. So the last driver out there now. See, we have a car coming off the final turn. This is going to be K-Dog. He already has the pole locked up. He's just doing one last lap. Trying to do a victory spin for the pole position. Game didn't allow it. So there we go. Yet another pole for the defending champion. Blistering pace. And you can see just across the board, you know, the fast. Sector 3 is a small sector, so that one's pretty competitive. But you see Sector 2, where the meat of the track is, just blistering pace by K-Dog. Puma sitting P2, looking great. K-Dog's teammate Bubba in 3rd. Doge 4th. Austin rounds out your top 5. Brian Bundy in his debut. Dano, Drew, and Senile round out your top 10. With Dre, Habab, and Barn bringing up the rear of the field. I think the only person, I hate to say it, well, Bubba does have good speed method. Bubba was only a couple tenths off K-Dog in practice. I'm not sure what happened to Bubba in qualifying, if he didn't feel comfortable or whatnot, so Bubba could contend. But it might be another situation where the only person who might beat K-Dog tonight is K-Dog. We'll have to see how it goes. 45 minutes. That's a long time to stay focused. All right, the drivers now making sure they get the right amount of fuel, making any race tweaks that they want to their setup, getting them all ready to go. Customarily, what we're going to do, we're going back to 5th place. We're going to hop on the roof of Austin's Ferrari. He is going to take us into turn 1 and give us a bird's eye view of all the action. Zeke, what's going on, brother? And Habab, it's just one guy. Don't worry. All right, we're getting ready. Still got a minute to go. The guys can, again, make all the tweaks they want. The big thing is making sure they have enough fuel to get to the end of this race. When they make their pit stops, they want to come in 16 seconds, change those tires, and get out. You cannot change tires and get fuel at the same time. So the guys do not want to waste any more time than they have to when they make their mandatory pit stop. All right, getting down to 30 seconds now. You guys got to make sure they're all readied up. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. If they don't ready up in time, they will be sent to the pits and not be able to race tonight, so there we go. I gotta find out who makes us do that every week and beat them. All right, here we go. The lights. Evergreen. Austin with a good start. He gets up to the back of Bubba. Oh, there's Doja on the inside. There's a little bit of contact between the Ferrari and the Lamborghini. Austin trying to make it 3 wide. All right, he backs out. Bubba gets a run, but now he's got Senile on the outside of him. Senile with a great start right now. Or excuse me, no, that's Bundy on the outside. Senile now goes on the inside of Bundy. Doge took a peek to the inside of Austin, doesn't work out. Brian Mosser went to the right-hand side. He's looking on an outside move of Doge. We're going to keep it on top of Senile right here. We got a great view of the action. Going into turn 3, everybody's got to slow down. This is a very slow corner. Almost 3 wide as Austin is on the outside. Brian is going to do a double overtake and jump up to 4th place. Great drive by Brian and his Audi. All right, let's go to the trackside cameras. Oh, there was a big-time move right there. So Barn has found his way up to 8th. We've got Bundy now in the gravel as Doge hangs on in the 6th. Barn now up to 7th, Dre in 8th, side by side, the Ferrari and the Mercedes. Mercedes has a little bit more straightaway speed. He's going to get the spot. See Dre lock it up just a little bit on the right front, but holding that inside line. Dre on the attack on Barn. Can he clear him? And he does. Give Dre P7. And issues with Austin is going to move, or excuse me, with Brian is going to move Austin up to the 4th. You see everybody's nose to tail right now. Dano did have issues. He is 23 seconds back. Up front, though, K-Dog is starting to pull away just a little bit as Bubba has gotten around Puma. So, Apex Motorsports running 1-2 right now. Bubba was the only driver in practice who could keep up with K-Dog's speed. Puma comfortable in 3rd right now. Then we got a bit of a gap back to Austin, who's got Brian right behind him, and then we got to take the camera back. This battle for 6th place continues to go. So Dre now has 6th place. He's got Barn. Oh no, and Dre got curbing and whipped it around. Too much curbing there by Dre. Unfortunately, driver error is going to cost them a spot, so Barn's going to hold on to 6th. He's got Doge in 7th, who's got Senile and Habab nose to tail right behind him. Habab looking down the front stretch, trying to use that Porsche power. Can he pull alongside the Acura? He jumps back in for the slipstream. This is a pretty decently long straightaway. Looks like Senile car had a little bit more straightaway speed. He's able to hold 8th place for now. Habab tucks in the 9th. He's got Drew the Great right behind him, with Bundy trying to recover as well right there in the Ferrari, and we see Dre right behind as well. So we'll keep an eye on 11th and 12th. If they could drive their way back up at the field, battling 6th place just a lap ago. And Dano is into the pits. And his BMW has severe right front damage. Not sure what happened. Unfortunately, we did not see it. There was a lot of 3 wide action going on off the grid, so I'm wondering if maybe something happened there. Zeke, to be honest, from my point of view, I don't think Barn got him. Dre's car hopped up on the chicane curbing, and as soon as it landed, it whipped around. So, I mean, it was super close. Maybe there was netcode. I just, from the angle I was at, I don't know if there was contact. There may have been. It wasn't the greatest angle, but the way Dre's car landed and whipped, it seriously looked like just he lost traction landing after bouncing off that curbing. All right, so top 3 out to little gaps right now. They're running smooth right now in the podium positions. Brian running P5 after that nice start, keeping it pretty relatively close to Austin. Austin slips up, Brian's going to be right there. Doge, who started the last, has worked his way up to 6th. He's trying to close in the gap now to Brian. Excuse me, Barn, and then Doge right behind him, and Senile hanging in tough. So really, 4th through 8th, there's not too big of a gap. Here goes, right behind, there was Bundy taking a peek at Drew. Oh, and Drew went wide in the chicane. So Bundy is going to take 10th, or excuse me, 9th. Drew's going to fall to 10th, though it looks like that was just a missed braking point. No damage on the Ferrari, so Drew's going to get back on it. All right, on the front stretch now. This big 6-car paddle is starting to spread out just a little bit. All drivers, though, within about a 1.5 seconds of one another. You know what? The methods that may have been it too with that bounce. It could have been unavoidable. Maybe Dre, the car shifted. We were at a ground level kind of view, so we'll have to see. But if there was contact, though, Dre needs to just shake it off and not let it disturb him. And it looks like he's had another slowdown, though. He was in the back of the pack. However, now he finds himself further back. He was on the tail end of it. Now there's a gap, so Dre needs to minimize the mistakes. He's got a fast car. He raced his way from 11th up to 6th. So Dre's got a Ferrari underneath him tonight. Now he's just got to control it and work some magic. Let's go back up. Now we got a battle forming as Barn is catching the back of Brian Mosser. This is for 5th. Doge in the green Lambo right there as well. Austin having a couple car lengths advantage, but you see he's still well within the camera screen there. So Austin cannot afford a mistake right now. That'll bring him back to this 3-car battle. As Doge is well in it now. Barn unable to get around Brian yet, so Brian taking a defensive posture into that turn with Barn with an outside, very powerful move by that Mercedes right there. Give P5 to Barn on the outside of a bend. Oh, Brian got a little wiggly there. So he's able to keep his Audi under control. He's got Doge right behind him. It looked like Austin may have had a little bit of slip up at the chicane as well because he has fallen back a little bit to the clutches of Barn. This is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th right now on the front stretch, a 4-car battle. And Doge is making a look to the inside of Brian as they enter the very hard braking zone for turn 1. Almost pretty much a hairpin. Brian's going to take a... All right, Doge being very generous right there, very conservative. Brian with a hard outside run, he's going to hold on to 6th position right now. While we're watching that, Barn was able to get around Austin. Barn now +9 as he moves up to P4. Austin trying not to let him get away. Stay tucked into the back of the Mercedes. Due to all this battling, though, they find themselves 4 seconds back out of the podium spot with Puma and 12 seconds back of the leader. Oh, and he's... Oh, no. He put it in chat that he lost it, and it looks like he severely lost it. Tons of damage on the Porsche of Habab. He was having a good run, a competitive run, battling, in that 9th, 10th spot, having some good battles early, but unfortunately, this is a sight we've seen with this Porsche a little too, nothing against Bob. We just don't want to see a tore-up car, and fortunately, the fender's crunched in and flapping. Porsche has seen a little bit too much action. But Habab looking to get that repaired, see if he can win a war of attrition and get himself a few more spots. Austin, after being passed by Barn, is not letting him escape, though. He is keeping that Ferrari nice and tucked in behind that Mercedes. They're developing a little bit of a gap back to Brian, who's got Doge looking on the inside. Still not there. Brian with a strong outside run is going to hold the position. Here they go into turn 16. And look at Bundy. there's the yellow Ferrari. Bundy in his debut had issues, went off track, is gaining that time back up. So he is trying to close in on the battle between Brian and Doge. Move up to Austin now. He was trying to see if there was a spot there. Wasn't quite there, so he keeps it tucked in. But again, it looked like Austin was a little off pace earlier. Barn caught him. Barn got around him, and then sent. Oh no, we have Habab spun on the inside. All right, looks like no harm, no foul there. Everybody's gonna go wide. Oh, and there goes Brian. Looks like Brian was on the outside curbing, and his Audi whipped around. No, look out, look out, look out. Brian, you got to be more careful entering a track like that. Almost a collision with Bob. Good evasive maneuver there for the Porsche. Brian's back on track, losing positions. This is going to move Doge up to 6th, Bundy up to 7th. Bundy trying to close in and bring that battle to 6th to Doge. And Puma's having issues. Puma is falling back. And here we go. We have a 3-car battle for the podium spot going on. Barn and Austin. Barn with a really bad run off that turn. Austin's going to close in. Puma's going to hold steady for just a little bit here. Just everybody's on the hard compounds. Temperatures look good. Not sure what's going on with Puma right now. If the car is just losing traction, he's starting to slide a little bit. And Habab has parked that Porsche. So unfortunately, there is another DNF. So 13 drivers now down to 11 after Dano and Habab retire their cars due to damage. Up front, your points leader, his Apex Racing teammate, K-Dog and Bubba running 1-2 and running away from the field, as they have about 15 seconds back to the battle of third. And as we're slowly starting to see, there's Doge, there is Bundy. They're a couple seconds back, but not terribly far away, as we can see from that front straight. Oh, Puma way too deep, opens the door for Barn. He jumps in and he takes third. Puma's gonna fight back now. Barn's gonna go for the over-under. Puma still trying to fight back hard, but right now, Barn has third secured. We're going to jump in the cockpit of the Ferrari. Here we go. Austin's making a move. Puma's going to have the inside line on this turn. Austin brakes early. Strong run. Austin was trying to get that preferred line there on the right-hander. Just didn't quite make it. Barn trying to gap it. He's got a couple car lengths. Nothing drastic right now. Barn up on the curbing. Couldn't get on the gas quite like he wanted. This is allowing Puma and Austin to close back in. Whoa! Puma through the S's. Huge catch. This opens the door for Austin. Oh, it looked like Austin may have had a little slowdown warning there from the game. He may have put too much tire up on the right side curbing. Still not losing a ton of time to Barn. Coming up to the chicane. Puma with a little too much curbing there. That's going to open up the door to Austin. He's going to have the inside line here for turn 14. Puma's going to try to attack back hard on the outside. And we've got a drag race down the front stretch. It's an Audi versus a Ferrari. Austin has the preferred line going into turn 1. Puma's got to try for a hard break, and there it goes. Austin's going to relinquish the spot. They also know right now, too, doing a heavy battle is not good for either of them, and it's going to allow Barn to pull away, as both drivers really makes their braking zone there to turn 1. We see Doge and Bundy starting to get closer there, 6th and 7th. Barn with a little bit of breathing room now. About a second and a half in front of Puma. There we see the lone Mercedes out there tonight. There's Puma, there's Austin, there's Doge, there's Bundy. This time we're going to hop in now. The driver's seat Dual lap in the Lamborghini of Doge. Just a couple car lengths back of Austin. Last time he was several seconds faster than Puma and Austin. He was a full second faster than Barn as well. And Bundy was pretty much running the same speed as Doge. So those two cars are feeling it right now. Oh, Doge not good through the S's. He's in the gravel pit. This is going to open up the door for Bundy. He was a little bit too far back. I believe Bundy must have had issues himself in the S's. So both drivers are going to hold position, but they drop some time there. It was a costly mistake for Doge. It's not terrible. You see the three cars in front of him. He has a podium in sight in Barnes up there in the orange Mercedes. But he just gave away. You see it there. He's 2.5 seconds behind his best lap. I was about to say he easily gave away 2 seconds, if not more. And Austin again, taking a peek. This time he has a stronger run through turn 16. He has Puma cleared. Puma is going to try to fight back. He's in the slipstream, but the Ferrari got a really good run, and the Audi is not able to close it in. So give Austin P4. Puma, who qualified second right now, in the top 5, but not exactly the race start as he wanted. As Austin had issues, Puma also had a lot of wheel spin, got it in the grass, had to hold up a little bit, and that allows Barn to get a little bit more breathing room. Barn started dead last after having the wrong setup in qualifying. Having an amazing race right now. Doge trying to get himself back under control. Going green right now. So Doge's Lambo is feeling it. The car has come to its own right now. Oh, as that was Austin, who was a little bit too aggressive on the inside of the right-hander, kicking up dirt, slowed him down a little bit. It's going to allow Doge to close that gap. Doge diving in hard with the Lambo, making it almost a diamond kind of turn there. Picked up a couple car lengths, though. He's still got Bundy about a little more than a half second behind him. Doge that time with a much stronger run up through the S's, and look at him close that gap. Austin goes wide, he's up on the curbing. That's going to choke up Puma a little bit, and Doge is right on their tails now. Doge has completely closed that gap. And he has got Bundy right there as well. So it's an immediate 3-car battle for 4th. We've got 3rd up ahead. We've got 7th just a few car lengths back. This has been the battle of the race so far, around this 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th positions. All right, we're going to take it back trackside. Puma, not the greatest of runs, falls back a little bit of Austin into the clutches of Doge. Doge just doesn't quite have the power right there. Again, Doge has been pretty conservative in turn 1. He has not made any risky moves. He's driving a smart race right now. That Lambo is fast. He's just trying to time it just right to make a nice clean overtake. Oh no! That was Puma. That was wheel spin and a whip around for the Audi. As we're getting closer to the halfway, we're still about 5 minutes away from halfway in this race. Though it doesn't look like tire wear is a factor for Puma, but that also may just be a broadcasting bug. And Doge had issues, so Bundy, just like that, went from 7th to 5th. Great run in the Ferrari for the PRL rookie making his debut race. Doge is going to tuck in behind Bundy now. Remember, those drivers were running pretty comparable laps when they were trying to chase down Austin and Puma and Barn. So at this point, Puma's just going to tuck in behind him, see if they can't close that gap into Austin now, who's fallen a little bit back of Barn. Barn has just about 2 seconds of breathing room over Austin. Methods, yeah, he's in the yellow car. All right, up front, K-Dog has led from the start from his pole position, and he is starting to run away from it as teammate Bubba has been having some issues. Bubba almost wrecked into pit wall coming off turn 16. scary, scary moment there as you saw Bubba 6 seconds off pace that lap. So Bubba was holding up with K-Dog up until that last lap there, and he has lost a chunk of time, but still looking great for a podium. He has got 15 seconds still on Barn, even with that bad lap. As we approach halfway, I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we see Bubba maybe try to cut this race in half if his tires are starting to wear on him. K-Dog's an alien. Not only is he super fast, but the tire wear he has every single week is absolutely amazing. K-Dog normally doesn't pit until about 7 minutes to go in the race, it seems like every race. So if Bubba is having some tire issues, he doesn't even need to try to make them last. Just come in, pit, and minimize the amount of time that you're losing to K-Dog. Barn's starting to get a little bit more spacing now. It's about 2.5 seconds back to Austin. And then, actually, so we've had issues. Something has happened with Bundy. We've got Puma. I'm wondering if something happened between Bundy and Doge, because Puma is now back in the mix as he has split the two drivers, and they have lost a significant amount of time to Austin. They were just about a second behind earlier. Now they're around 4 seconds behind. We know Doge was the trailing car. I'm not sure if maybe Bundy had issues and it kind of held them both up, if there's contact, what happened, but that has widened the gap. So now it's just the 3-car battle for 5th with Bundy, Puma, and Doge. Let's go a little bit further in the back of the pack, because the camera has pretty much been in that 5th place battle this whole time. This is battle for 8th between Brian Mosser and Drew the Great. Brian had a good quality run, found himself pretty high up in the pack at one point, but unfortunately a couple self-spins finds the Audi driver back in 8th, and he had Drew breathing down his neck there a little bit. Drew having a pretty nice run in his Ferrari, trying to secure a solid top 10 finish. We've got Senile again, who qualified 10th, I believe, running in that 10th spot. He's got that Acura looking nice and pretty, though. No damage on it. Senile's had a couple really good races this year pace-wise. Doesn't quite seem to be there for him tonight, though, but he's still out there going. And Dre, again, Dre had a great start to this race. We're still wondering what happened in that chicane, if it was just curbing or if it was curbing that led to contact with Barn. Dre was looking at his 6th place at the time. Fortunately, he's fallen back. He's had a couple other driver error slip-ups, and he finds himself the last car running in 11th place. Now we've got to go back up front, as Austin has slipped up now. So Austin has had a slip, and he's finding himself falling back to the clutches of Bundy, Puma, and Doge. Barn now with an 8-second gap. Barn sitting comfortably in the podium spot. And there we go, 4-car battle for 4th place is starting to heat up. All right, next time around, time-wise, we'll be about halfway through this race. So it'll be interesting to see who dives in right away to get those fresh tires, who's sitting pretty, and maybe trying to save some tire. And that way they have a little bit more tire to spend at the rest of the way, at the end of the race, if they can get maybe 5 more minutes out of these first set of tires. Here we go. Bundy making a nice move to the inside after Austin just missed his braking point there. Went really wide. Now Bundy goes wide. This is giving Austin a really nice run. So he has slipstream. He's going to swing out. He's going to head the inside of this curve. He's going to take 4th place back. So Austin and Bundy just swapping positions back and forth there, coming to the chicane. And issues with Doge. Doge is now 10 seconds back. He was tucked in right behind Puma. Now he finds himself right out front of Brian and Drew, as this battle is heating back up again. So not sure what happened with Doge, but our 4-car battle is now down to 3. And make that 2, Bundy is in. So Bundy coming in for the first scheduled pit stop of the race. And Doge is going to follow. So Austin now has 4th place all to himself, though it goes extremely wide in turn 1 and takes out that cone. Puma right behind him. Due to the pit stops, Brian finds himself back up at the 6th place, Drew in 7th. All right, Bundy getting fresh tires. Doge getting fresh tires. Didn't appear to be any damage on either car. K-Dog up front now. Finds himself with a 16-second lead over his teammate. Bubba with 11 seconds over Barn. So our podium driver is right now sitting nice and comfy because Barn has 12 seconds over Austin, who is now under attack by Puma. As we watch drivers go side by side, Austin has the inside lane. Puma goes a little wide. He's going to try to I thought he was going to try to go a little wide to see if he could tuck under on the exit, but it wasn't quite there. So Austin's going to hold fourth for right now. After a good bit of defensive driving, up through the S. Puma slowly closing that gap. Nothing drastic. It appears still going to be several corners before we see that battle form. As we go down the back straight, we'll hop on board with the Audi. You know, Methods, K-Dog has just found a groove in this game that is really something awesome to see. It really is, especially the last two seasons. It's just been absolutely nuts. The kid's on fire. There's nothing else you could say about it. He is just straight up on fire. And we've seen that happen from time to time. Obviously, Mac Attack, Patricio. I guess there was even a month where I was considered on fire when I won 3 of 4 on my way to the championship. It's just, but the longevity of K-Dog doing it is what's really impressive now. He's going on 2 seasons of just top-notch driving. Matter of fact, to give shout-out to the champ, last broadcast, it slipped my mind. I didn't realize it until after the fact. With that win at Brno, K-Dog now has taken over sole ownership and is the all-time career leader in podium finishes in this league's history, passing Patricio for that honor. So great job for K-Dog. Shows just a wonderful career he's had in Project Cars. K-Dog also races F1, hoping this could maybe be a bit of a breakout season for him as well. He's in the McLaren. His speed's getting a little bit better. So K-Dog, he's realistic about it, knows that he's not maybe podium ready yet, but wants to start contending for some top 5s, and we'll see how he does. F1 kicks off a fresh new season with F1 2018 this Thursday, 2 nights from now, 9 p.m. Eastern like normal. It's going to be the traditional opening race, Australia. So we'll keep an eye on K-Dog and see how he does there. Same with Bubba. Bubba finds himself still teaming with Brian Mosser in F1 this season in the Toro Rosso. So brand new colors for Bubba. Bubba had a season to forget, as he put it. Just really learning that game on the wheel. And without any assists at that. So Bubba's looking to have a bounce back season and score some more points. This is going to be a definite confidence booster for him, the run that he's having tonight, though. He had a good run at Brno. He's having a great run here at Nurburgring. I mean, he's a K-Dog away, too, of dominating this race. All right, Barn, after starting dead last, starting 13th in the field, plus 10, looking for another podium. And shout out to Barn as well. Barn is taking the path of the Hoot. Barn also races in Elite Racing, doing some commentary on the NASCAR Heat side of things for them. So, shout out to him. He admits that, like, the NASCAR Heat is more of a spectator mode than a broadcasting mode, so he doesn't have the full tools that he would like, but getting a feel for it. He's doing that a couple nights a week, but still keeping with the GT3. Though I will say, though, if he does podium, we might be barnless for a podium interview because he does have to broadcast pretty much right at the end of this race, around 10:30ish. So we'll see how that pulls out for Barn. We mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Puma's currently sitting P4, still has to pit as well. Puma's had a season to forget. He's a great driver, consistent driver. He's just had bad luck with disconnections, bad luck with getting caught in others' accidents, only 10th in points, but having a really promising run right now. And I know Puma's he wants to grab a lot of momentum. He wants a strong end to this season, not necessarily caring where he finishes in the points for this season, but wants to carry that momentum into season 12, where, not to talk league politics, we might see a little bit of a car swap. We had a GTE practice race last week, and it really made a lot of guys happy. So if we're not seeing our normal GT3 cars, they're going to be GTEs next season. But once we get closer to the season finale and we know for sure that'll happen, then we'll make the announcement for it. But right now, just giving guys a little inside Iggy in the rumor mill. So now here comes Puma and Barn. So third and fourth are pitting. Now when Barn exits the pits, he should still be pretty comfy. We'll have to see where Puma exits, because he was racing with Austin as well as Bundy. Though it looks like Austin may have had some other issues, as he finds himself pretty far back of Bundy. There's 8 seconds there. Austin behind Dre. I do believe Dre still has to pit, though. Couple of Ferraris there, nose to tail. Literally nose to tail, as Austin had a strong run there out of the chicane. Oh, there's contact, and Austin just got into the rear of Dre. So that was, I'm just going to have to call it like I see it on that one. That was just some impatience shown by that young man. Dre had the corner rights. Austin tried to stick his nose in with not quite enough room. Dre slipped up, but Austin tried to just punch it in there and corner paneled his fellow Ferrari driver. So unfortunate incident by there. Austin's he's got to learn some patience. I know he wants to get up there. You see, after Puma's pit stop, Austin's right behind him now. But even if you're on different pit strategies than other drivers, you got to treat them with the same respect when you're battling for position like that. You just can't move them if you're faster than them. You have to pass them cleanly. There we go. We got Jaja in chat now. So, Doge has just not been feeling it. He's been around that 5th place, having some really good battles tonight. Matter of fact, so with Doge in 9th, we still have Drew and Brian to pit. So that'll be a couple more spots for Doge. But this is really the battle that we were seeing, was between Bundy, Puma, Austin, and Doge. So after all the pit cycles make their ways out, we'll see how these 4 guys are looking. So I know he still has to pit, but giving the shout out to Brian Mosser, sitting P3 right now. Brian looking forward to the NASCAR Heat 3 season when it kicks up. Unfortunately, NASCAR Heat has an online setup bug, so our league is currently on hold until that gets fixed. But he's excited for that. As we mentioned Bubba earlier, Brian's going to be in the Toro Rosso on Thursday night for the fresh new F1 season. Drew the Great, only racing in GT, our GT3, our Project Cars League. So currently finds himself P4. Granted, he'll have to pit and lose a couple spots, but still keeping that Ferrari nice and clean this week. So having a good run. Barn not too far behind them, but Barn has had issues. Oh, and Barn called it out as well. So the incident earlier with Dre was Dre catching too much curb in the chicane, according to Barn. That's what it looked like to me. I thought I saw 2 wheels up in the air, car landed, car spun. I thought it was just too much curbing. Though Barn, I'm not sure what happened with Barn, but Bundy and the guys were not this close to him beforehand. So Barnes still holding on what will be the podium spot once Brian and Drew pit. Matter of fact, here comes Bubba. Bubba brings it in with 12 and a half minutes to go. Brian's still pretty far back. We'll see if he pits this time around. K-Dog doing his normal deal. He's not pitting anytime soon. It'll probably be around 6 or 7 minutes to go, and then we'll see K-Dog coming in pit. But Barn now starting to open up a little bit. Last time around, Bundy was closer. Now that gap is widened. It's just about 3 seconds. But Bundy has a big gap back to Austin, as Puma has had issues. So Puma has fallen back now. So Austin finds himself in 7th. He's got 5 seconds over Doge in 8th, who has about 4 seconds over Puma in 9th. And then with Senile and Dre bringing up the rear of the field. And here we go. Drew is in. Drew is going to relinquish 4th place, bring his Ferrari in. He went a strong 34 minutes on that first set of tires. So great run for Drew. Brian keeping it out there a little bit longer. Bubba is on fresh tires. K-Dog still has to pit. So 2 more drivers, 1st and 3rd place to pit. It's going to move Barn up into 4th now. Bundy up into 5th in his debut race. All right, Drew waiting on those tires. He just lost the spot to Austin. The sign is up. They haven't released the Ferrari yet, as Doge has gotten around, Puma has gotten around as well. So Drew is going to fall down to 9th. All right, his car is moving. Senile is just now in the final turn, so Drew should hold on to the 9th place. Austin really wide there on the rumble strips, losing some time. This is going to allow Doge to catch up just a little bit. Last time around, Doge was 2 seconds faster than Austin. Austin continues to have issues. Joe's could close up, and there's Puma. So once again, these 3 drivers might be battling before this race is over. We still got 10 minutes. That's plenty of time. How's that, Methods? And to be honest, we've been pretty lucky. We really haven't had connection issues here of late. I believe what it was earlier this season, I was hosting and being the broadcaster. I really think that had a lot of issues. My internet's powerful enough to do it, but I think just game-wise, that was causing lobby issues because ever since we had K-Dog start hosting, we have not had issues. Speaking of issues, K-Dog came into pit, and Bubba has gotten around him. Big time! What did we miss? What exactly happened here? K-Dog had a 15-second lead before pit cycles. And Bubba now finds himself with a 10-second lead. K-Dog did not take fuel. So it wasn't a botched pit stop. I am absolutely shocked. We were looking mid-pack at some battles forming. No eyes on K-Dog. And something happened to cost him a ton of time. Bubba is 8.5 minutes away from potentially snagging his first career win. Bubba has finished second several times. He has never won. He has a couple F1 podiums to his name. He has a couple NASCAR top 5s to his name. Bubba is trying to find career PRL win number 1. And he is looking good doing it right now. Zeke, if they were closer, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know if there was a technical glitch with K-Dog or what happened. But I'm outright shocked. And to be honest, too, with K-Dog, I mean, Bubba's dying for that win, but nobody wants to have their first win handed to them. To be honest, that's why I still don't like my Laguna Seca win. I felt bad because Brian lagged and it killed K-Dog, and we know all that drama. But the fact that Patricio caught me at the end and didn't challenge me. Granted, we were teammates, so he was taking it easy on me because he was a teammate, and I didn't like that. I don't mind getting a win if somebody goofs up, and if I'm not the fastest, I had 2 wins like that with Mac Attack. Mac was a couple tenths faster than me, but he had slip-ups. I didn't. I won Hockenheim and Zolder. I love those wins, great wins. I didn't like Laguna Seca for the fact that I was never challenged. So I know Bubba would feel the same way. He would not want a win just handed to him like that. But look at it. K-Dog, though, is going green now. Something happened entering pit road. something happened with K-Dog's pit stop, because look at that time. Bubba's out lap time was 2:36. K-Dog is 2:53. Unless K-Dog... I'm wondering if maybe K-Dog got some damage entering pit road. We don't see the damage here, but I'm wondering if something happened on pit road entrance, because it is a dangerous entrance. You are carrying decent speed, and it is a sharp right-hander. And I'm wondering then if that time lost on pit road was repair time. That very well may be it. We'll have to find out after this race. But that doesn't matter right now. What matters is Bubba keeping this car pointed straight for 6 minutes and 17 seconds. As he still has about 9 seconds over his teammate. Now with the pit cycles all done, Barn has come back up into third place. And he's still putting some gap over Bundy. Shout out to Bundy, his PRL debut. Looking very solid in his Ferrari. Has had some fun battles sitting P4. Doge has gotten around Austin. So Doge now trying to make his comeback. He finds himself in 5th place. Austin has had speed, but we saw this last time around too. He doesn't have the longevity on those tires. His tires seem to fall off on the Ferrari. Same thing happened at Laguna Seca as well for Austin. Just tire wear on that Ferrari. Matter of fact, Puma now is going to try to close that gap here in the final 5.5 minutes. Brian Mosser in 8th. About 12 seconds behind. And then you've got Drew in 9th. He's 5 seconds behind Brian. 8 seconds above Senile. And here we go. K-Dog's starting to close that gap now. K-Dog has found another second. He's got it down to 8 seconds and some change. This time, though, not green. K-Dog with almost a qualifying lap last time, a 56.46. I'm pretty sure, let's look at the timing, but I'm pretty sure that's got to be the fast lap of the race. It absolutely is. He's the only one. Matter of fact, K-Dog and the Bubba are the only ones to break the 2-minute mark. K-Dog has gotten into a 56, Bubba into the 57s. Everybody else is above 2 minutes. So Apex Racing just absolutely flying. And K-Dog is still closing the gap, but not quite enough to catch him on his own. He'll need a slip up from Bubba with 4.5 minutes left in this race. Bubba down the back straight. Coming up to the chicane. We'll see what their lapse times are this time around. With... oh, this is going to be really, really tight for Bubba as well. No, based on the timing, this is going to be 2 to go. Right here, 2 laps to go. Bubba has a 6.5 second lead. There's K-Dog entering the picture now. Trying to stalk his teammate as K-Dog crosses the line. That time, K-Dog was a 1.5 seconds faster than Bubba. It's enough to make Bubba sweat, but not enough to get the lead. K-Dog at that rate would need 4 laps. He only has 2. One thing, though, that you have to understand, and I've been there several times, the nerves when you're coming into the closing laps, trying to chase that first win, trying to get that monkey off your back. Again, I mean, I not so much at Laguna Seca, but I had those butterflies trying to capture my first real win at Zolder. Same thing in NASCAR Heat after getting a couple second place finishes and winning at Texas. The butterflies are real. K-Dog experienced it. He can tell you. Zeke has experienced it. He can tell you as well out there in chat. Jaja can attest to that as well. Right now, the last thing Bubba needs is to be his own worst enemy here in the closing 2 minutes, 40 seconds. There's some more battling going on in the back. We got Doge and Puma. As Doge has had a mistake, Austin's gotten back around in 5th. Puma's in 7th. I'll try to keep an eye on the scoreboard, but we've got to get some love as we may have our first-time winner happening. Bubba's sitting comfy as he's coming down the backstretch, and he still has 5.5 seconds over K-Dog. We'll take a quick peek. Doge under some serious attack from Puma right now for 6th place. Try not... now, Austin had a bad corner, so now Doge is going to... instead, he'll get a couple cars on Puma and bring the fight to Austin. As Bubba's coming around the final corner, we're going to do some camera jumping here in the closing minutes. So I apologize, but Let's go along for this ride as white flag is out. Bubba has taken the white flag. Still under 2 minutes that time around. K-Dog's a little bit closer, but not nearly enough. As that time, there was a 2-second difference between the teammates. But K-Dog is 5 seconds behind. Bubba coming up to the back of Dre. Every car is on the lead lap right now. Dre would potentially be the first car to go a lap down, but he still has a pretty decent gap. Going back to the battle now. Austin holding on to 5th, but here comes Doge. Puma's right behind. Puma taking, or excuse me, Doge, seeing if something was there before the chicane. It is not. Bubba in Sector 2. Along the curve, going into the hairpin. And Bubba goes wide. Bubba went wide and spun it in the gravel. He whips around. The lead is gone. There's K-Dog. They're wheel to wheel. Going up through the S is too wide. Are they going to do this? Bubba's going to give way. He's going to try to attack K-Dog on the return, but K-Dog had a good run out of the S's. Absolute heartbreaker here for Bubba. He's right on his tail, though. Bubba might be pushing too hard. He goes really wide there. That's going to give K-Dog a couple car lengths. K-Dog, though, catches a little bit of grass. Bubba's going to have some slipstream down this backstretch. He does not look like he's going to be close enough, though. He is going to need a hell of a run if he wants to get into that chicane. It's not quite there. He is going to need to keep his fingers crossed. Can he force K-Dog into an issue in the final few corners? Here comes the chicane. Bubba with a little bit of wheel spin, trying really hard, caught some curbing. K-Dog is going to actually gain a car length out of turn 16. And there it is. K-Dog capitalizing on the mistake from Bubba. And absolute heartbreaker. But as in motorsports, one man's loss is another man's gain. It's going to have to be a different race for Bubba to snag that first win. Still an amazingly strong second place finish. K-Dog, after whatever happened with that pit stop, bounces back, takes the win. Here comes Barn. That's going to be another podium for Barn. So congratulations on the Mercedes driver who's on a hell of a run. Shout out to Bundy coming off the final turn in his debut race, finishing P4. As Austin has issues, big time issues on this final lap. Austin is well off pace. So Doge now up in 5th as he is coming to the final corner. Doge gaining a spot, finishing top 5 here in the final lap. Puma's going to be 6th. Austin in 7th. And we have to have a heartbreaking announcement. I saw it earlier, but we were at the finish of the race. Brian Mosser with a last-minute disconnection. Unfortunately, that will get him scored 11th. As Doge is upside down and gets sent to the moon. He got straight up punted by Austin there. His guys are having fun after the race. There's, I believe that's K-Dog giving it to Barn there. All right, Drew secures 8th place. There's his finish. He's going to give K-Dog... Oh, no, he's going to play nice. Here comes Senile. He'll cross the line, P9. Dre managed to stay on the last lap with the hiccup of Bubba. First time this season, all finishing cars stay on the lead lap. And there you go, and that's going to be 10th place for Dre. And an absolute wild finish. There it is, K-Dog Honda making up 5 seconds in that final lap. Clips his teammate Bubba for the win. Bubba still looking for that elusive first win, but a very solid race. A well-deserved second place. He had that podium wrapped up. K-Dog and Bubba were the class of the field tonight. Barn plus 10 to that podium finish. Bundy, again, 4th in his debut race. Doge fought back hard to round out the top 5. All right, so give me one moment. Let's get the headphones in. We're going to do a power interview with Barn real quick so he can run away to his broadcast. All right, here we go. Official podium interviews, Power Edition. Barn Buddy, plus 10, my man.
Yes. It was a lot of fun.
Good times.
Yeah, well, I saw those two. I saw K-Dog chasing him down, and then I saw all of a sudden, I thought he lagged out or something because I saw the gap go to nothing. And then I hear you react, and oh, he spun it, and I'm like, all right, so maybe they'll just crash each other and, end it for them both. But, no, it was a good day. I think on the pit stop, the yellow Ferrari, I don't know his name, but he short pitted and managed to gain time, but it wasn't enough to get by me. But yeah, I didn't hit Dre there on that first chicane or that incident. I don't know. He just looked like he got too much curb and lost it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like from our broadcast angle. I know that was a hot topic in the chat, but yeah, I saw two wheels off the ground, and as soon as it landed, it whipped. So
yeah, luckily I overfilled the car to not have any of that. So I had more weight on the rear end. So
right.
Anytime I got on the curbs, I could, manage it a little bit better. But and that ultimately hurt me because I wasn't able to set the, under sub 2 minute laps that these other guys were setting. So, all in all, it was a good race. I'm excited to get X back, and this was one of the first races without him. So we didn't really get to elaborate on what our strategy was or anything like that. So so I did all right by myself. I got another podium. It's 2 in a row. So
yeah,
starting a streak. But I got to run though. I'm a little late.
Nah, I appreciate you. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the minute with us, my man. You go have fun.
Yep,
tonight.
I will. Come check us out.
All right, brother. All right, Twitchland, there you go. That was Barn in a kind of condensed podium interview there, who has to go do broadcasting duties. So, oh man, we don't have K-Dog or Bubba in Discord chat yet, and I don't know if I want to have those. I know I don't want to have the Bubba interview because I do my best to try to keep it semi-professional and not let emotions get involved. But when one of my buddies, there he is. All right, let's start off with Bubba. Well, regardless, Bubs. Regardless, great drive tonight.
Thank you.
I mean, you and K-Dog were the class of the field. Was it just butterflies
So
in that final lap?
no, I overreacted because I saw Brian's car sitting in the middle of the track, and I didn't want to risk anything happening, so I overreacted and went wide.
I'm wondering that because Brian disconnected, and Brian on chat said he saw somebody else's car sitting there. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it sounds like then it may have just been server bug.
I don't know what it was, but it was sitting right there. Even though I saw the car ahead of me go through it, I didn't want to risk it. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, because to be honest, I didn't see any car on the broadcast because I had the camera on you.
Gotcha.
So that really sucks. I had to catch myself there, but like I said, regardless, Bubs, I wanted you to get that first win so bad, but that doesn't take away for the fact that, dude, you were dominant tonight. You had a great car. You and K-Dog were the class of the field, man.
Well, I appreciate that. So disappointed in myself, but I'm happy for the team.
Yeah, I don't think mathematically it clinches yet, but tonight pretty much clinched the team championship for you guys. I know we'll have the drop week to make it up, but I mean, your closest 3 competitors were all down a driver tonight, so that pretty much wrapped that up. So congratulations on that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
You got it, my man. So there it is, Twitchland. Normally, it's a pretty festive conversation when Bubba gets a podium, but like we said, that was a little subdued, but still a well-deserved podium.
Still stoked for the podium.
Now let's.
It is only the first one this season. But
is that your first one this season?
I want to say yes.
You know what? It is. That's right, because your last podium was Le Mans.
Yeah.
That's right. You ended last season with a podium. So, Bub, stop waiting to the end of the season, damn it.
I can't help it, man.
All right. Now to the villain of the evening. The guy everybody hates. Unmute yourself in Discord. K-Dog, go home.
Sorry, Ollie.
No, so K-Dog with the pole. I mean, What happened on the pit stop?
The AI took control and it threw me into the tires on the outside.
Okay, so that's what it was. Okay.
Yep.
Because Nurburgring is known in Project Cars to go completely full helmet when the AI takes control. I got disqualified from a race because my AI drove me backwards.
Yeah.
So, not shocked to hear that. But
It's almost like it took control way before the commitment line, and it just turned my car left and just went straight for the tires on the outside. And it gave me 20% damage on my front and probably suspension damage also. And
holy crap.
It back forward, went forward again, back forward, and then went forward again, and I got into the pits. So yeah, I almost lost it thanks to AI control.
Oi. So we need to know, because I'm pretty sure you guys were in team chat together.
Yes.
Bubba had the slip up. The drag race is happening, going to the S. Was anybody going to lift going? Because you guys are going to be door to door in the most dangerous part of the track.
I wasn't going to lift, but I was going to give them enough room on the inside.
I lifted because I knew there was no way that my car would stick on the outside of the track like that. So.
I'm not going to lie, Bubba. I was kind of hoping, because I thought the same thing. I know if you take it too much to the left, like it's just going to hit curb and bounce you to the right. And I'm like, so when you lifted a little bit, there was a, kind of a sigh of relief.
Now, if I was a little bit closer on straightaway afterwards going to the chicane, I definitely would have dive bombed in there and knocked him out of the way.
Dude, I was hoping for some like NASCAR heat level drafting going on on that back straight, just suck you right up.
Unfortunately, I just didn't get it. Ugh. It was frustrating for sure, but damn. Get him next.
And that whole race, I was keeping Bubba focused and looking forward instead of worrying about what's behind him, because I knew that I had a fast car, and once Bubba finally figured out he had a fast car tonight also, I told him just keep looking forward, chase the rabbit.
And I had a couple of mental mistakes that I made too. I had a half spin and a big off.
Yeah, we saw you lose like a handful of laps about halfway through, or a handful of seconds about halfway through the race. But other than that, I mean, the first 20, 25 minutes or so, like, you were nice and smooth and clean and keeping up with K-Dog. And then you said you had that half spin and then, pretty much clean to the calamity at the end.
But,
with apparent ghost cars sitting on the track. What is this, F1? Come on.
No, looking back, I kind of wish I would have just punted him out of the way going into the chicane, or maybe not have lifted into the S's, but I got to take.
To be honest, if you would have punted him, I would have wrote out a Stewart report with a smile on my face. I'm just saying. Good times.
It was awesome being as quick as K-Dog tonight.
Dude, it was a great run, man. I was so happy for you. Even if none of that happened at the end and you just finished second, I was still ecstatic, man. That was a great run you had tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I know Barn finished third, and he said at Burno 2 weeks ago that the Mercedes were coming. I didn't see any Mercedes.
Well, Barn was also being cute and started in the back of the pack again. So, but even then, he still didn't have your guys' time. You were in the races. You were the only guys that could go faster than 2 minutes.
Sounds like personal problem.
Dump. I know, and the homie has to go pretend to be Hoot. So he powered through his interview and left already. Or else I would give you guys all the time you want to make it. But I tell you what, let's go ahead and make this the official end of the broadcast then for our Twitch land out there. Again, with win number, what is this, 6 on the season, K-Dog?
I believe so, and third hat trick.
Yep, so win number 6, third hat trick, K-Dog now really solidifying it. Again, not mathematically over, but it's really looking like it's going to be back-to-back championships for K-Dog. And Bubba with the second place finish. That's pretty much going to clinch it for Apex Motorsports. That's going to be the second team championship in a row. And then again, shout out to Barn going +10, rounding out the podium tonight. Gentlemen, Congratulations.
Thank you.